guys, you are welcome to Coffee with Carpa. My name is Esther Pakpan, and with me today in the studio is Engineer
Mbosowo, Sam, Orok.
You're welcome, sir.
Thank you.
So good to have you.
It's a pleasure.
Please, can you tell us more about yourself?
As I've already said, my name is Engineer Obong Mbosowo, Sam, Orok. I'm an Aqua-Go-Mite. I went to secondary school in Methodist Boys High School, where I obtained my first school, where I obtained my WAEC. Then I went to government secondary school at Fipo to do my A levels. Unfortunately, the Civil War came, and I had to go back to Methodist Boys High School Orok to complete my A level in 1970. Luckily, I taught there 1971 and 72 before I went overseas to study civil engineering. I'm a civil engineer by profession, and I've been doing that since ever I finished my degree courses.
All right, sir. Can we know more about your profession?
As I said, I'm a civil engineer. I don't want to say I'm a civilian engineer, because civil engineering caters for every need, construction need of the civilians, of people. You know, first, since most of us are Christians, it said in the Bible, God created Adam and left him there in the Garden of Eden. There was no houses until the idea came. He needed a house, he needed a road, he needed better water. So all those things that you need for your day-to-day comfort is provided by the civil engineer.
Yes.
Under civil engineering, we have different options. You can be a structural engineer, which I am. You can be a water engineer, which you have people reading for water resources. You can be a transportation engineer. We also have people doing that, building the road, the bridges, etc., etc. And finally, you can be a geotechnical engineer. Geotechnic means, because the building which we are here consists of two portions: the upper portion, which we call the superstructure, and the one you do not see, which is the foundation, we call the substructure. So geotechnical takes care of what you do not see, which is the foundation, and other problems that we shall discuss along the line, like the culverts, like the tunnels you have. All those are all done by the geotechnical engineer. You have dams, again, it's the geotechnical engineer who will take care of that, etc. Everything which you do not see. I remember several years ago, I think it was Governor Atta who built whether they call it jack pipe, something. That is a drainage along Ikorekpele. I'm sure 99% of our Akwa do not even see it. But all we know that the water that used to be there after the rains have disappeared. That is the work of a geotechnical engineer. It costs a lot of money, but most of us don't know what he does. But if he doesn't get it right, then there's a problem. I don't want to go into certain problems we have even here in Akwa Ibom State. Or if you've been to Tropicana, you see those bills, they will not be able to complain. Not that government has no money to complain. They have a problem. They have a foundation problem. And it costs a lot of money to rectify those problems. So that is civil engineering at a nutshell. You have transportation, you have water resources, you have geotechnical, and then structures. Those are the four main branches or options you can read. But again, I would like my young people to understand that as you dabble into these different options, they get wider and wider and wider, and you have to specialize in something. That is at the lower, you have four options. But as you go higher, each option will also spread and have more options.
It's so interesting. Okay, so what motivated you?
I always believe I'm a very lucky person. I grew up in Uyo in the motor park, wild. So when I went to school, in my first year in school, I met a small young boy. He was two classes ahead of me. I was in Form 1, he was in Form 3. Small, normally in Uyo by that time, all we did was fighting. And I was a guy, if we played football and he kissed me, we could fight properly. But I was told he was very, very good in mathematics. He was a brilliant chap. So that was my first problem. He became my role model. And what was he good in? Mathematics. So I had to do everything possible to be like that young guy. And because of that, that is how. Because without mathematics, you will never be an engineer. You need to be good in mathematics. Without being good in mathematics, engineering is a no-go area. That is how I started. First, being good in mathematics, being good in the other related mathematics-related courses. So by the time I came up to Form 4, now we have started talking, what do I really, we started, I wanted to be an aeronautical engineer, go to IMT in America, etc., etc. But by the time the Civil War finished and I had admission, I went to Hungary to do my first degree, that's master's degree. So when I got there, we had a problem. I told them what I wanted to do. They got me confused. They thought about Terezu Menok, which means design engineer. So I ended up reading structural engineering.
Okay, sir. I got carried away. Okay, so what does it take to become an engineer?
Very simple. Again, in the Bible says that it is said that God gives all of us talents. Pray that God should give you the talent to understand to figures. You need to be a mathematician. Without mathematics, you find engineering very, very, very difficult. You need to know mathematics to your fingertips, because immediately you understand mathematics, you find that engineering is a very simple course first. Then obviously the most important, which is hard work. Luckily, in mathematics, you can solve problems anywhere, even in the marketplace, even in the stadium, anywhere, noisy place, you can still solve your problems. But you must have that knack for solving problems, and solving problems. Because the more problems you solve, the easier mathematics will be. Fortunately, can I continue? Fortunately for me, I've had the opportunity of teaching. First, I taught in a secondary school. I've also had the opportunity of teaching in the Polytechnic for 9 years. After retirement, I'm not teaching in the university. So I continue saying the same thing. If you want to be a good engineer, you must know mathematics. Immediately you know mathematics, because with mathematics we go with physics, we will go with chemistry. These are what courses you might need to be an engineer. Even in JAM, those are the courses you need to pass. But I want to add, with my experience today, we have a problem that people are admitted to do engineering or the sciences with ordinary level mathematics, the general mathematics, which is bad. Really, when you come into university, when we are discussing mathematics, we are talking about calculus, which in the secondary school is what they call further mathematics or additional mathematics. If you are not versed in that course, you will find it very, very difficult to read engineering, whether in the Polytechnic or in the university, because everything you are coming to see there will be calculus, plus other higher mathematics, the higher geometry, the higher, everything, the higher level of mathematics, which are not taught under the general mathematics you came in with to read engineering.
Okay, so what are the challenges of being an engineer?
I don't know where to start with, say corruption. So why I say corruption is that everything in Nigeria, you find out that it ends up in corruption. Corruption that money is not given. Adequate money funding is not made into our projects. 2, in Nigeria, we've not yet come to a place, because most of us who are the decision makers have never left this country. If they leave this country, they are just on visit. But if you happen to have studied, they lived there for 3 years, 5 years, 6 years, 10 years, you'll understand how things are supposed to be done. You find out that some of those roads, if you have watched Julius Beja, they will walk and walk and walk, then suddenly all the equipment disappears. Why? They've not been paid their money. You see, it becomes a challenge. You were on a job, you had a time limit, you were supposed to finish that job. Suddenly you are not paid. You are forced to have a break, lay off staff and say, oh, we shall call you back. It doesn't make for good work. 2, I like being a teacher. I don't like to say I'm a lecturer. I'm only a contract lecturer. Being a teacher, as I said, enough has not been done to prepare our students to read engineering. Being a teacher, most of our universities, most of our polytechnics, most of our even secondary schools do not have adequate equipment to train good engineers, to train good people who will become engineers. So these are some of those challenges. That 2, for studying overseas, what you saw there, if you want to implement them here, you find out that you run into a problem, because with tar roads, without pavement, pedestrian walkway beside it, everybody is strong with the vehicles on the center of the road, and cars are knocking down people. But we are trying.
So would you support people to study engineering outside the country?
Yes. But again, the problem I have is find out that most of our kids finish secondary school at a very tender age. 17, because I was surprised to find 17-year-old children in my class. I said, no. University is meant for adults. For you to be in Nigeria, it is okay. But when you leave overseas, remember, you are sending that child to be on his or her own. There will be no person, and it's very difficult. It could be it could be a crisis period. The child has to look for his accommodation. He has to do everything for himself. You might be in a university, there is no Nigerian. You are the only Nigerian. We even talk about blacks. So you will not have assistance. And when you go overseas, you find out that the whites do not mix as we mix here. Having friends around you is always, oh, good morning, and people on their own. So that child, I would prefer a child going overseas after his first degree. He's more matured to take care of those problems he will face when he gets there. But at 17, 18, 19, it might be very difficult. Yes, we went overseas, but look at it. We finished secondary school O level at about 18. We did 2 years of A level, which meant that we went into university at the age of 20 plus. But today, children are entering the university at very tender age. So if that child can finish his first or her first degree in Nigeria, then let the child go overseas. Because go overseas exposes you to a lot of things you will never see in Nigeria. You become a better engineer, even though when you come back to Nigeria, instead of improving, you find that you are going down because the facilities are not here. If we had the facilities, our boys do very well overseas. But when we come back, you find out that those white folks that you were beating in class, if you meet after 10 years, they are by far better than you because they have all the equipment, they have all the facilities that they need. In Nigeria, people talk about research. Research costs money. Here, nobody will give the university the money for research. Even if they give to you again, they are not even sure you use it properly. You use it for what it is meant for. Because research costs money. And for you to do research, some of us were very lucky during the COVID-19. We could see the hospitals overseas. Then think about the hospitals we use here in Nigeria. You can see the big difference. So if a Nigerian child goes overseas to study, he's coming back, he will be exposed to everything he needs to, just like the white boys who are being trained by their country. He'll be exposed to those equipment. He'll be exposed to those good teachers. He'll be exposed to everything. Therefore, it's a very good idea for him to go overseas. Bet age. I would prefer for a master's program and above. For BSc, those kids are too young to go and start that course because of the challenges they will meet over there.
Okay, lastly, what's your advice to young people out there who may aspire to be like you someday?
First, it is hard work. There's nothing. You just need to work very hard. I've said, if you want to be an engineer, please make sure you are good in mathematics. If you are good in mathematics, you will be super. 2, there are a lot of vacancies. In Nigeria, we've not started compared with the foreign countries in Europe, America. We've not started. We don't have the power in special incentive. I'm teaching today because the university could not find someone who was a specialist in geotechnical engineering. That's why I'm still teaching. Yes, I've tried my best when I was head of department to make sure the university employed young lecturers with first class, second class, upper. Then we started training them in all the different fields of civil engineering. So for them, I would say there's always, we've not started. We don't even have most of our jobs in Nigeria. Who are doing them? They are all Julius Berger, ECC, these white companies. We need engineers who can team up and knock off those people. We have enough work to be done in Nigeria. Luckily, I'm happy we have a person like Hensek who has come up now. I hope the government will continue to assist him so he can grow just like those other white companies.
Thank you so much, sir. Okay, we've come to the end of our show. We hope to see you some other time.
Thank you.